The Poet X, Part 2. Saturday, September 15th. Games. With one of our last warm weather Saturdays, Twin, Carrie Dot, and I go to the Goat Park on the Upper West Side. Outside of ice skating when we were little, neither Twin nor I are particularly athletic, but Carrie Dot loves trying new social activities. And this week, it's a basketball tournament. The three of us have always been tight like this, and although we're different, since we were little, we've just clicked. Sometimes Twin and Caridad are the ones who act more like twins, but our whole lives we've been friends. We've been family. Already we feel the chill that's biting at the edge of the air. It will be hoodie weather soon, and then North Face weather after that. But today it's still warm enough for only t-shirts, and I'm kind of glad for it because the half-naked ball players, they're fine. Running around in ball shorts and no tees, their muscles sweaty, their skin flushed. I lean against the fence and watch them race up and down the court. Caridad is paying attention to the ball movement, but Twin's staring as hard as I am at one of the ballers. When he catches me looking, Twin pretends to clean his glasses on his shirt. When the game is over, the Dykeman team won. We shuffle away with the crowd, but just as we get to the gate, one of the ball players, a young dude about our age, stops in front of me. Saw you looking at me kind of hard, Mommy. Damn it. Recently, I haven't been able to stop looking at the drug dealers, the ball players, random guys on the train. But although I like to look, I hate to be seen. All of a sudden, I'm aware of how many boys on the ball court have stopped to stare at me. I shake my head at the baller and shrug. Twin grabs my arm and begins pulling me away. The baller steps to Twin. Oh, is this your girl? That's a lot of body for someone as small as you to handle. I think she needs a man a little bigger. When I see his smirk and his hand cupping his crotch, I break from Twin's grasp, ignore Caridad's intake of breath, and take a step until I'm right in Homeboy's face. Homie, what makes you think you can handle me when you can't even handle the ball? I suck my teeth as the smile drops off his face. The dudes around us start hooting and hollering in laughter. I keep my chin up high and shoulder my way through the crowd. After. It happens when I'm at bodegas. It happens when I'm at school. It happens when I'm on the train. It happens when I'm standing on the platform. It happens when I'm sitting on the stoop. It happens when I'm turning the corner. It happens when I forget to be on guard. It happens all the time. I should be used to it. I shouldn't get so angry when boys, and sometimes grown-ass men, talk to me however they want, think they can grab themselves or rub against me or make all kinds of offers. But I'm never used to it, and it always makes my hands shake, always makes my throat tight. The only thing that calms me down after Twin and I get home is to put up my headphones on, to listen to Drake, to grab my notebook and write and write and write all the things I wish I could have said, make poems from the sharp feelings inside that feel like they could carve me wide open. It happens when I wear shorts. It happens when I wear jeans. It happens when I stare at the ground. It happens when I stare ahead. It happens when I'm walking. It happens when I'm sitting. It happens when I'm on my phone. It simply never stops. Okay? Twin asks me if I'm okay, and my arms don't know which one they want to become, a beckoning hug or falling anvils. And Twin must see it on my face, this love and distaste I feel for him. He's older by a whole 50 minutes, and a guy, but never defends me. Doesn't he know how tired I am? How much I hate to have to be so sharp-tongued and heavy-handed? He turns back to the computer and quickly clicks away, and neither of us has to say we are disappointed in the other. Sunday, September 16th. On Sunday, I stare at the pillar in front of my pew so I don't have to look at the mosaic of saints or the 6-foot sculpture of Jesus rising up from behind the priest's altar. Even with the tambourine and festive singing these days, church seems less party and more prison. During communion. Ever since I was 10, I've always stood with the other parishioners at the end of Mass to receive the bread and wine. But today, when everybody thrusts up from their seats and faces Father Sean, my ass feels bolted to the pew. Caridad slides past, her right brow raised in question, and walks to the front of the line. Mommy elbows me sharply, and I can feel her eyes like bright lampposts shining on my face. But I stare straight ahead, letting the stained glass of La Madre Maria blur into a rainbow of colors. Mommy leans down. Mira, muchacha, go take God. Thank him for the fact that you're breathing. She has a way of guilting me compliant. Usually it works. But today, I feel the question sticking to the roof of my mouth like a wafer. What's the point of God giving me life if I can't live it as my own? Why doesn't listening to his commandments mean I need to shut down? Why does listening to his commandments mean I need to shut down my own voice? Church Mass. When I was little, I loved Mass. The clanging tambourines and guitar, the church ladies singing hymns to merengue rhythms, everyone in the pews holding hands and clapping. My mother, tough at home, would cry and smile during Father Sean's mangled Spanish sermons. It's just when Father Sean starts talking about the scriptures that everything inside me feels like a too full, too dirty kitchen sink. When I'm told girls shouldn't, when I'm told to wait, to stop, to obey, when I'm told not to be like Delilah, Lot's wife, Eve. When the only girl I'm supposed to be was an impregnated virgin who was probably scared shitless, when I'm told fear and fire are all this life will hold for me, when I look around the church and none of the depictions of angels or Jesus or Mary, not one of the disciples look like me, Morenita and big and angry, when I'm told to have faith in the Father, the Son, in men, and men are the first ones to make me feel so small. That's when I feel like a fake, because I nod and clap and amen and alleluia, all the while feeling like this house, his house, is no longer one I want to rent. Not even close to haikus. Mommy's back is a coat hanger, her anger made of the heaviest wool. It must keep her so hot. Mira, muchacha, when it's time to take the body of Christ, don't you ever opt out again. But I can hold my back like a coat hanger too, straight and stiff and unbending beneath the weight of her hard glare. I don't want to take the bread and wine, and Father Sean says it should always and only be done with joy. Mommy gives me a hard look. I stare straight ahead. It's difficult to say who's won this round. Holy water. I just don't know about that girl, Mommy loud whispers to Poppy. They never think that Twin and I can hear. But since they barely say 2 words to each other unless it's about us or dinner, we're always listening when they speak. And these flimsy Harlem walls barely muffle any sound. Recently, she's got all kinds of devils inside of her. They probably come from you. I've talked to Padre Sean, and he said he'll talk to her at confirmation class. And I want to tell Mommy, Father Sean talking to me won't help. That incense makes bow tie pasta of my belly, that all the lit candles beckon like fingers that want to clutch around my throat, that I don't understand her God anymore. I hear Poppy shushing her quiet. It's that age. Teenage girls are overexcited. Puberty changes their minds. Son locas. And since Poppy knows more about girls than she does, she stays silent at his reply. I don't know if it's prayer to hope that soon my feelings will drown me faster than the church's baptismal water. People say, Papi was a mujeriego, that he would get drunk at the barber shop and touch the thigh of any woman who walked too close. They say his tongue was slick with compliments and his body was like a tambour with the skin stretched too tight. They say Papi was broken, that he couldn't get women pregnant, so he tossed his seeds to the wind, not caring where they landed. They say Twin and I saved him, that if it wasn't for us, Mommy would have kicked him to tomorrow, or a jealous husband would have shanked him dead. They say Papi used to love to dance, but now he finally has a spine that allows him to stand straight. They say we made it so. On Papi. You can have a father who lives with you, who every day eats at the table and watches TV in the living room and snores through the whole night and grunts about the bills or the weather or your brother's straight A's. You can have a father who works for transit authority and reads El Listín Diario and calls back to the island every couple of months to speak to Primo so and so. You can have a father who, if people asked, you had to say lived with you have to say is around. But even as he brushes by you on the way to the bathroom, he could be gone as anybody. Just because your father's present doesn't mean he isn't absent. All over a damn wafer. As repentance for not participating in communion last time, Mommy makes me go to evening mass with her every evening this week, even the days that aren't confirmation class. When communion time comes, I stand in line with everyone else, and when Father Sean places the Eucharist onto my tongue, I walk away, kneel in my pew, and spit the wafer into my palm when I'm pretending to pray. I can feel the hot eyes of the Jesus statue watching me hide the wafer beneath the bench where his holy body will now feed the mice. Monday, September 17th, the flyer. Calling all poets. The poster is printed on regular white computer paper, the bare basics. Spoken word poetry club, calling all poets, rappers, and writers. Tuesdays, after school. See Ms. Galliano in room 302 for details. It's layered behind other more colorful and bigger lettered announcements, but it still makes me stop halfway down the staircase as kids late to class try their best to accidentally make me topple down the stairs. But I'm rooted to the spot, a new awareness buzzing over the noise. This poster feels personal, like an engraved invitation mailed directly to me. After the buzz dies down, I crumble the flyer in my backpack, balled and zipped up tight. Tuesdays, I have confirmation class. Not a chance Mommy's going to let me out of that. Not a chance I want anyone hearing my work. Something in my chest flutters like a bird whose wings are being gripped still by the firmest fingers. Tuesday, September 18th, Amman. After 2 weeks of bio review, safety lessons, and blase blah blah, we're finally starting real work. A boy, Aman, is assigned as my lab partner. I saw him around last year, but this is our first class together. He shifts at the two-person desk we share, and his forearm touches mine. After a moment, I shift on purpose, liking how my arm brushes against his. I pull away quickly. The last thing I need is for someone to see me trying to holla at a dude in the middle of class. Then I'll really be known as fast. But it's like his forearm brush changed everything. Now I notice how I'm taller than him by a couple of inches, how full his mouth is, how he has a couple of chin hairs, how quiet he is, how he peeks at me from under his lashes. Near the end of class, as we both stare at the board, I let my arm rest against his. It seems safe, our silence. Whispering with Caridad later that day. X. There's this boy at school. C. This is why your mom should have sent you with me to St. John's. X. Are you kidding? Half those girls end up pregnant before graduating. C. No exageras, Zio, and we're going to get in trouble. We're supposed to be annotating the verse. X. You and I could break this verse down in our sleep. It's not wrong to think a boy is fine, you know. C. It's wrong to lust, Zio. You know it's a sin. X. We're humans, not robots. Even our parents lusted once. C. That's different. They were married. X. You don't think they lusted before the aisle? Girl, bye. Anyways, there's a boy at school. He's cute. His arm is warm. C. I don't even want to know what you mean by that. Is that code for something? Stop being fresh. X. Caridad, you always trying to protect me from my dirty mind of warm arms. C. Sometimes I think I'm the only one trying to protect you from yourself. What twin be knowing? As I'm getting ready for sleep, I'm surprised to see the crumpled poetry club flyer neatly folded on my bed. It must have fallen out of my bag. Without looking up from the computer screen, Twin says in barely a whisper, "This world's been waiting for your genius a long time." My brother is no psychic, no prophet, but it makes me smile, this secret hope we share, that we are both good enough for each other and maybe the world too. But when he goes to brush his teeth, I tear the flyer into pieces before Mommy can find it. Tuesdays, for the foreseeable future, belong to the church, and any genius I might have belongs only to me. Sharing. Although Twin and I are super different, people find it strange how much we share. We shared the same womb, the same cradle, and our whole lives the same room. Mommy wanted to find a bigger apartment, told Poppy we should move to Queens or somewhere far from Harlem, where we could each have our own room. But apparently, although Poppy had changed, he still stood unmoved, said everything we could want was here, and sharing a room wouldn't kill us. And it hasn't, except I once heard a rumor that goldfish have an evolutionary gene where they'll only develop as big as the tank they're put into. They need space to stretch, and I wonder if Twin and I are keeping each other small, taking up the space that would have let the other grow. Questions for Ms. Galliano. I'm one of the first students in English class the next day, and although I promised myself I would keep my lips stapled together when Ms. Galliano asks me how I'm doing, the words trip and twist their ankles trying to rush out of my mouth. So you run the poetry club, right? She doesn't laugh, cocks her head, and nods. Yes, we just started it this year, Spoken Word Poetry Club. And my face must have been all kinds of screwed up, confused, because she tries to explain how spoken word is performed poetry, but it all sounds the same to me, except one is memorized. It might be easier if I showed you. I'll pull a clip up as today's intro to class. Are you thinking of joining the club? I shake my head no. She gives me that look again, when someone who doesn't know you is sizing you up, like you're a broken clock and they're trying to translate the ticks. Spoken word. When the class starts, Ms. Galliano projects a video, a woman on stage, her voice quiet, then louder and faster like an express train speeding up, picking up speed. The poet talks about being black, about being a woman, about how beauty standards make it seem she isn't pretty. I don't breathe for the entire 3 minutes while I watch her hands and face, feeling like she's talking directly to me. She's saying the thoughts I didn't know anyone else had. We're different, this poet and I, in looks, in body, in background, but I don't feel so different when I listen to her. I feel heard. When the video finishes, my classmates, who are rarely excited by anything, clap softly. And although the poet isn't in the room, it feels right to acknowledge her in this way. Even if it's only polite applause, my own hands move against each other. Ms. Galliano asks about the themes and presentation style, but instead of raising my hand, I press it against my heart and will the chills on my arm to smooth out. It was just a poem, Xiomara, I think, but it felt more like a gift. Wait. Is that what Ms. Galliano thinks I'm going to do in her poetry club? She mentioned competition, and I know slam is just that, but she can't think that I, who sits quietly in her classroom, who only speaks to get someone off my back, will ever get on stage and say any of the things I've written out loud to anyone else. She must be out of her damn mind. Holding a poem in the body. Tonight after my shower, instead of staring at the parts of myself I want to puzzle piece into something else, I watch my mouth memorize one of my poems. Even though I don't ever plan on letting anyone hear it, I think about that poetry video from class. I let the words shape themselves hard on my tongue. I let my hands pretend to be punctuation marks that slash and point and press in on each other. I let my body finally take up all the space it wants. I toss my head and screw up my face and grit my teeth and smile and make a fist, and every one of my limbs is an actor trying to take center stage. And then Mommy knocks on the door and asks me what I'm in here reciting, that it better not be more rap lyrics. And I respond, verses. I'm memorizing verses. I know she thinks I mean Bible ones. I hide my notebook in my towel before heading to my room and comfort myself with the fact that I didn't actually lie. J. Cole versus Kendrick Lamar. Now that we're doing real labs, Aman and I are forced to speak. Mostly we mumble under our breath about measurements and beakers, but I can't forget what I told Karadat. I want to get to know him. I ask him if he has the new J. Cole album. Shuffle papers as I wait for him to answer. Amon signs his name beneath mine on the lab report. The bell rings, but neither of us moves. Amon straightens, and for the first time his eyes lock into mine. Yeah, I got Cole, but I rather the Kendrick Lamar. We should listen to his new album together sometime. Asylum. When my family first got a computer, Twin and I were about 9. And while Twin used it to look up astronomy discoveries or the latest anime movies, I used it to stream music, flipping the screen from music videos to Khan Academy tutorials whenever Mommy walked into the room. I fell in love with Nicki Minaj, with J. Cole, with Drake and Kanye, with old school rappers like Jay-Z and Nas and Eve. Every day I searched for new songs, and it was like applying for asylum. I just needed someone to help me escape from all the silence. I just needed people saying words about all the things that hurt them. And maybe this is why Poppy stopped listening to music, because it can make your body want to rebel, to speak up. And even that young, I learned music can become a bridge between you and a total stranger. What I tell Amon. Maybe I'll let you know. Dreaming of him tonight. A boy's face in my hands, but he's nearly a man. Memories of Mommy's words almost lash my fingers away, but I still brush upward against the grain and prickle and bristle of a light beard at his jaw. His cheekbones rise like a sun, the large canvas of a forehead, a nose that takes space. This is a face that doesn't apologize for itself. The boy moves his body closer to mine, and I can feel his hands drop down from my waist to my hips, then brushing up toward these boobs I hate that I now push at him like an offering. His hands move so close, our faces move closer, and then my phone alarm rings, waking me up for school. In my dream, his is a mouth that knows more than curses and prayer, more than bread and wine, more than water, more than blood. More. Thursday, September 20th, the thing about dreams. When I get to school, I know I won't be able to look Amon in the face. You can't dream about touching a boy and then look at him in real life and not think he's going to see that dream like a face full of makeup blushing up your cheeks. But even though I'm nervous, when I get to bio, the moment I sit next to him, I calm down, like my dream has given me an inside knowledge that takes away my nerves. I'd love to listen to Kendrick. Maybe we could do it tomorrow? Date. This doesn't count as a date, or even anything sinful. Just 2 classmates meeting up after school to listen to music. So I try not to freak out when Amon agrees to our non-date. Mommy's dating rules. Rule number 1, I can't date. Rule number 2, at least until I'm married. Rule number 3, see rules 1 and 2. Clarification on dating rules. The thing is, my old school Dominican parents do not play. Well, mostly Mommy. I'm not sure Poppy has any strong opinions, or at least none he's ever said. But Mommy's always telling me, early as I can remember, I can't have a boyfriend until I'm done with college. And even then, she got strict rules on what kind of boy he better be. And Mommy's words have always been scripture set in stone. So I already know going to a park alone with Amon might as well be the 8th deadly sin. But I can't wait to do it anyway. Friday, September 21st, feeling myself. All last night, I held the secret of meeting Amon like a candle that could too easily be blown out. Anytime Mommy said my name or Twin looked in my direction, I waited for them to ask what I was hiding. This morning, I ironed my shirt, a for sure sign I'm scheming since I hate to iron. But no one says anything about the shirt or my new shea butter scented lip balm. And when I slide my jeans up my hips and shimmy into them, my legs feel powerful beneath my hands, and I smile over my shoulder at my bubble butt in the mirror.